Go, Joe, go.
Welcome to Sports Ramble. My name is Joe Silek, and I'm joined by Big D Dennis Pond, Thomas the Minshew, the Chew. I don't know. We'll work on that. We'll work on it. Brainstorm. And our host, Corbin Rush.
How's it going, Joey?
It's
How you
going all
doing
right,
today?
man.
How you
All
doing?
right.
How you doing today, Dennis?
I'm surviving, not thriving, man.
Surviving, not thriving. Hate to hear it. Hate to hear it. Chewy, how you doing today? You living?
Well, I got my beer. I made some food. We're having a good day. We watched some golf.
What a day
Got
to have
cleaned up too, so you
Man,
trimmed up his
Chew.
beard and everything.
I
What a
know.
day
Look at
to
this
have a day.
guy. Chew is having himself a day, buddy. Let me tell you what. So, there's a few things we're gonna hit on today in this podcast, and then we're just gonna bounce around. Something too crazy that's been going on here lately. Something interesting did happen that we definitely need to touch on. I guess we'll dive right into that. What do you guys think about the Raiders releasing Derek Carr? Not trading, releasing.
Well,
They
we
did
kind of all knew it was going to happen.
to save themselves all the dead cap if they would have traded him. If they this is before this deadline, significantly less money against their cap,
Yeah.
like basically no cap hit.
Well, I mean, I understand why they did it, but I also think it was a terrible decision by the Raiders because,
Well, you know why they did it is Josh McDaniels.
yeah, and that's a bad move by the Raiders, in my opinion, because Derek Carr is the best available quarterback on the free agent market now,
Yeah.
and it's not close. Like, I don't think there's anybody that's even in conversation for being number two right now.
Well, Aaron Rodgers, I would say,
But he's not a free agent. He's not a free agent.
Technically, he's on the
Aaron
market.
Rodgers might not even be alive anymore after his.
He's going into his darkness retreat.
Yeah, it's
Darkness.
like Aaron Rodgers. I have no idea what's going on with that guy. Like
He come out
whatsoever.
takes some colors.
He's not a guy
I mean,
I would even hope
After
the
his
Titans are gonna take.
ashwagandha trip or whatever it was.
Yeah. And don't get me
like-
wrong, Aaron Rodgers is great TV, man. The guy is like weird as
It's
all
great
get
TV.
out, and it's like we could talk about this guy for hours because greatest arm talent maybe in NFL history. Just pure ability to throw that thing, sling that thing
Not
across the
lately.
yard. In his career, come on, man. Prime Aaron Rodgers. I can't name three better arms in football than Aaron Rodgers.
Prime Matt Stafford.
No, not
Patrick
a chance.
Mahomes.
Not even close.
You don't remember? You must not remember young Matt Stafford.
I remember young Matt Stafford.
was
He's
the
not as
best arm we
talented-
had ever seen up to that point.
No, he's not as talented as Aaron Rodgers.
I'm not saying
In pure
overall
pass-
talent. I'm saying biggest arm.
No, Aaron Rodgers, dude. Aaron
Ridiculous.
Rodgers is one of the strongest arms I've ever
Y'all
seen.
are
In my life.
ridiculous.
Chewy, what do you've been awful quiet. What do you think about this situation? Do you think Aaron Rodgers is one or two?
Currently, two. I mean,
Thank
in
you.
terms of actual like what's available on the market, I'm taking Derek Carr over Aaron Rodgers
Thank you.
in that
Okay.
system.
Yeah.
What
agree.
line do they have? What line do they have to protect Aaron Rodgers? God knows he needs one,
Yeah.
especially at the ripe old age of 39 or whatever the hell he is now.
That's
I
the
think,
problem
they're
right
close.
now. Yeah. He's old now, but and also Chewy, what are you thinking? Joe, I'm also curious. What do you think? Prime Aaron Rodgers, arm talent, pure arm ability to put the ball anywhere on the field at any given time, and exactly where he wants it to go. I mean, if we really
As,
want to
like-
talk arm talent, then we just bring up the touchdown interception ratio throughout their careers. If you really want to go there, Dennis.
Okay, you can look it through their career, but at the
I
same
thought
time,
we were
it's like
literally talking about who had the biggest, like the most, just the biggest rocket you'd ever seen.
No, the most arm talent, the ability to
I'm,
put the
I'm
ball
just
where you
talking
want
about
to
the
go.
biggest.
Yeah, I was gonna say Dennis is talking straight arm talent, not or
No, I'm strength.
well,
Like,
you're
I'm
talking
strength,
arm.
yeah.
Yeah, Dennis is talking
I
arm
was talking
strength.
arm
You're
talent
talking
the whole time.
talent and accuracy.
Okay, yeah, I would say Aaron Rodgers is probably the best arm talent.
That's
probably
what I'm
top
arguing
two,
the
and he
whole
might not
time.
be two. I don't know.
Huh?
I don't
Top
think
two, and
he's
he might
two.
not be two.
It's
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. Aaron Rodgers has the best arm
Oh,
talent. I think
You know who you're
Dan-
forgetting about?
Dan Marino was also
that-
up there.
Strangely, in that argument, Andrew Luck before the injuries.
No, Andrew Luck didn't have the cannon like Aaron Rodgers.
No, but I'm
It's
saying
it
like
was-
ball placement.
yeah, but I'm saying Aaron Rodgers' strength, ball placement, accuracy, because like Josh Allen has also arguably one of the strongest. I think Josh Allen is a stronger arm than Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers, arguably, but it's not nearly as accurate. just as Aaron Rod or maybe Andrew Luck, extreme, maybe an accurate quarterback, not the arm strength that Aaron Rodgers has. I'm just going based off like the whole package, the ability to put the ball anywhere on the. You know who also kind of reminds me of Aaron Rodgers? Maybe isn't as strong, doesn't have like a hotster. Bryce Young. I think Bryce Young has the ability to put the ball anywhere on the field that he wants it to go.
All 140 pounds of him.
Dude, hey, he's like a wet noodle, but he can sling that thing.
No, a dry noodle, because dry noodles break super freaking easy.
But anyways, not to get back, I just got so off topic. I'm sorry, boys. Just bring me back in. No, but Derek Carr's the best available option on the free agent market right now. So I don't really know
most potential for sure to succeed in any situation.
100%. 100%. And so like
going to Washington,
what do you guys who do you guys think that the Raiders are even going to be looking at? Do you think they stick with Jared Stidham?
Aaron Rodgers?
You think
they might actually stick with Stidham?
So you guys don't think? What do you
was he in New England?
Yeah,
at one point.
Yeah,
I mean, he knows
That's
McDaniels. Those two know each other. Or they might stick with him to see what happens for the next year or so.
Yeah.
Next, you're going to be telling me Danny Etling's making a comeback.
But I don't know, man. It's a weird. I just don't know what they're looking for quarterback-wise.
Here's the thing, though, is like, okay, you have different teams. A lot of teams this year, it was up to the quarterback, whoever's going to get fired, the quarterback or the head coach. Like, look at Denver, look at the Cardinals, and then here we got the Raiders. I don't think they could afford to get out of Josh McDaniels' contract. So there's like, let's get rid of Derek Carr instead. I really do think it was a flip of a coin situation.
But I think all that did, and like the players were saying, is all that did was piss them off. Like they wanted to come play with Derek Carr and Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
You don't want to come play with Josh McDaniels.
And I really do think Aaron Rodgers is going to go back to Green Bay.
They do this every offseason. It's like the most toxic relationship. It's like me and one of my exes, no matter how much we said we were done with each other and how much we should have broken up, there was always that like, but it's kind of fun, run it back. It's like, you know what I mean? I'm getting like Colin Cowherd over here talking about exes and whatnot, but
she who will not be named.
Yeah. Good times. But no, Chewy, I'm glad you brought that up too, just because I want to touch on it. How do we think Devontae Adams is feeling right now? He came to Las Vegas to play with Derek Carr.
He feels strung out.
Dude, I feel like
betrayal.
I'd be pissed.
Yeah.
I'd be straight up pissed. I'm surprised he doesn't want out yet.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm sure he does.
I'm sure
he's still campaigning for Rodgers to come down.
Yeah, I wonder if we see Tay try to move this offseason as well. Try to figure some way to get out. If they aren't able to get Aaron Rodgers to Vegas, I wouldn't be surprised. So, moving on from that, Joe, you mentioned a team earlier that I also want to talk about real quick. The Arizona Cardinals making the most Arizona Cardinals move to keep them again at the bottom of the NFL, picking up Jonathan Gannon from the Philadelphia Eagles. One of the worst Super Bowl coaching performances I've ever seen in my life. In the second half specifically. For those who don't know, Gannon was the defensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles, who chose to make 0 adjustments in the second half against the Kansas City Chiefs and gave up, what was it, like freaking 28 points in the second half to the Chiefs or something crazy like that. So, Arizona, what are you doing, man? You got probably the most toxic quarterback, if not the second most toxic quarterback in your locker room. And you're going to decide to go with a defensive coordinator as your head coach. Smart play. Who is going to get absolutely walked over by a guy who already knows he can get away with whatever he wants to get away with in QB1 Kyler Murray. This is an Arizona move, boys. I think we can all agree this is exactly what Arizona does. Because
this is what they've done in the past. They've gone from one polar defensive coach to a polar offensive coach, back to a polar defensive coach. This is what they've done for the past almost 10 years, probably, I'd say.
Yeah. I don't know. Dennis, how you feeling about it?
No comment. I'm glad the Cardinals made a Cardinals move because they play in my division. So
That's true. Residential Seahawks fan. If you look at the banners behind Dennis's head there, yeah, they
10
definitely
out
have
of
done
10
a
for backdrop, honestly.
honest. I mean, look how beautiful that is. But yeah, no, Arizona made a great move today to stay at the bottom of their division and the bottom of the NFL. So congratulations to them. We're proud of you, Arizona. Joe, what do you think? You kind of on the same wave? It's just terrible.
We'll see. They're gonna, throw a bunch of spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks to see if it's right.
Yeah. Chewy, what do you think? I mean, they're stuck with Kyler Murray now. So
He's helping pick out like key coaching staff, and he's like being like treated as if he is a part of the coaching staff when he's not. He's a young player. I would still call him young because he is, who needs someone to actually coach him. He should not be coaching.
Yeah. Has he made the playoffs yet?
Once. And remember, he got walked by the Rams in that playoff game. He was scared. Yeah. Chewy, what do you think?
I'm on the same lines, man. I still stand by Kyler Murray should have gone and played baseball, and I'm gonna leave it at that.
Didn't who was it that got did someone get traded from the Cardinals? Or am I speaking crazy talk?
JJ Watt retired.
AJ Green retired too, didn't he?
Yeah,
yeah.
Oh, isn't D-Hop leaving?
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Kyler Murray's dude. I got a lot of words for a guy named Kyler Murray. Allegedly, he cannot stay off the Call of Duty, which we all know he definitely can't. Allegedly, so like I have to throw the word allegedly in so we don't get a defamation lawsuit.
Hold on, Chu brought up a good point. Do you guys think JJ Watt's gonna actually stay retired? Do you think he might come back for like take that tractor another lap around?
He gets hurt so much now. He plays such a physical position, and his body doesn't really hold up anymore.
And with the whole heart thing that he went through, man, especially with being married,
don't think
he's got a
he's
kid.
Gonna be? You don't think he's gonna be sitting on the couch watching some team making a good solid run in the regular season, and be like, I could sign a 8-week contract with them. Kind of like what a lot of players are doing now. Like they're coming out of retirement to play like the second half of a season or a playoff run with the team.
He might just to get a ring, but from where I'm sitting and from what I can see, he's pretty happy. He's happy where he's at. He's got a
I see him coaching.
I could too. I could see it, and I could see it at the college level more than I could at the pro level.
Yeah, the problem is I don't see him like unjamming printers and getting people coffee for 5 years before getting even like an assistant coaching job.
Yeah, but he could go back to Wisconsin without any issue.
Yeah, I was gonna say he could just
they hire him in a heartbeat.
Wisconsin and be like, "Hey, I'm your new defensive coordinator," and they're like, "All right."
Speaking of guys,
coach.
Yeah. Speaking of guys who will sign 8-week contracts, where do we all think Odell's gonna end up?
I think he's done.
You think he's done? I
think he's done.
We're good.
Some of the most potential I've seen in my lifetime in a wide receiver. I can't think that he's gonna be done.
Dude,
where's he gonna go? No one really wants him, I don't think.
No. I mean, I thought he was gonna end up in Dallas, and then I thought he was gonna end up in Buffalo, and then I thought he was gonna end up on a roster that was just going to make a Super Bowl.
He could still end up in Dallas. Jerry Jones has got a serious man crush on him.
Arizona?
Because he remembers the catch against him on Monday night. Like Jerry Jones, all he remembers. Yeah. Odell Beckham had one of the like Dennis said, one of the highest ceilings we could have ever seen in a receiver. I mean, he broke Randy Moss's record in his first 2 years or first rookie season, something like that. I mean, he just went nuclear when he first got to the league.
He's a playmaker, and like you have to account for him. If you can go to a team where he can be like a third option.
Yeah. I mean, let's not pretend like he wasn't very important in the Rams Super Bowl run.
Oh, yeah. And I'm saying, like, what if he could go to like a Seattle that has a DK Metcalf and a Tyler Lockett?
Mm-hmm.
DK's that deep ball guy. Tyler Lockett's that super fast slot guy. He'd be that intermediate guy.
Hey, pitch it, Dennis. Pitch it to your Seahawks, buddy. Get those feet on phone.
What if he went back to? What if he goes back to New York?
No, I don't see it happening. No, they don't even have. He'd go somewhere that has a chance at winning a Super Bowl. New York does not have a chance at winning a Super Bowl. I'm sorry.
They don't. But
guys, you know what we never talked about? The NFL end of season awards, man.
Oh no.
Real quick.
Well,
just run
Patrick
through.
Mahomes got the MVP. He also got the Super Bowl MVP.
Who
Well
got
deserved.
the Walter Payton? Was it Dak, right?
Not sure. Was it Dak?
Yeah, I think
Yeah, and then everyone booed him. Yeah, that's right.
That's great. So Walter Payton goes to Dak. MVP to Patrick Mahomes. Defensive Player of the Year, Nick Bosa. Well deserved. Nothing to say about that.
Offensive and defensive rookie of the year were both
Both
on
on
the
the
Jets.
Jets. How about
Yeah.
that? Yeah. Good.
about comeback
sweep
player of the
there.
year, baby.
I don't
That was
understand.
Gino.
Yeah.
I don't.
Boy.
Yeah, I think
I don't
Corbin's
under-
about to say what
I don't understand how he wins comeback player of the year after not coming off an injury. Like he just sucked in the NFL and then didn't suck in the NFL. It's like, oh yeah, give this guy the comeback player of the year. Why does
It's
he get
happened before.
He should have got
Yeah.
a most improved player award or something like that. They need to make an MIP award or something.
Because he
Yeah,
really
but
is.
that's
He,
the whole point of the
without a
comeback
doubt,
player
is.
of the year award right now, though.
Well,
I like what Corbin. I get what Corbin's saying. I agree.
yeah,
I
like
do
Adrian
too, but
Adrian
like-
Peterson coming off an ACL tear to then rush for 2,000 yards. That's comeback player of the year.
I agree.
Peyton Manning coming off a neck surgery where he can't even feel his fingers in his right hand to break the touchdown and yardage record in a single regular season. That's a comeback player of the year. A guy who just sucked, got punched in the face at his old job, and just hung around the league for about 5 years and somehow finally got a starting spot. I don't think he deserves comeback player of the year. It's a great story. It's a great comeback. It's a great return to the scene.
A great comeback. That's what it is.
I don't know. I think me and Joe are on the same. Joe, what do you think?
yeah.
I think you're on my
No,
side.
like I am on your side. I agree. It should be coming off like some kind of an injury or something that happened in your life or career or something like that. I don't think just like being passed around like street food for like most of your career and then finally ending up with a shot at showing who you are and then having a couple good games, really starting to build some momentum, some chemistry with your team. I mean, he's got a pretty decent team around him, let's be honest. I'm not undermining. He played an exceptional season, especially in the beginning of the season when it counted for that, for that organization. But I don't see how the comeback isn't there for me. He was never there to come back.
Okay. You're allowed to be wrong. It's okay, Joe.
Oh, okay.
Oh, my God.
You're right. My bad.
Joe, I'm just so glad you went with street food. I thought we were going somewhere else for a second.
I had to make a quick turnaround there.
The lady of the night.
Chewy, what do you think? Are you on the? Oh, we're getting so demonetized if we ever get to a point where we. Chewy, what do you think? Did he?
Innuendos.
He deserved most improved player
I don't-
or comeback.
I mean,
player?
in my eyes, I don't know who else I would have given it to. I mean, nobody
Saquon.
really.
Maybe
Who?
Saquon.
Saquon should have got it.
Saquon could have
Coming off his two back-to-back season-ending injuries, and then he comes back and he becomes the best running back in football again. In my opinion, I don't think there was anybody better than him this year. At the running back.
CMC when he went to San Francisco.
He could have got it.
CMC was unstoppable when he went to San Francisco.
I still think Saquon's better because the line that Saquon's
You
running behind is
become
the line
ineligible
that.
for awards if you change teams.
I think so. Well, it wasn't the
I
whole.
think
It wasn't
you
like
do.
early in the season. It was late in the season
Yeah, it was like at the trade deadline.
at the deadline. Honestly, though, what a freaking key player for that team, though.
Oh
Yeah, that was the
absolutely.
best move in during the season this year by far.
Yeah,
was
best
Saquon.
in season.
And honestly, like,
But
I can't even say that like he won the breakup with Carolina because Carolina actually, everyone thought when they fired their head coach, lost CMC. What was there? They had a receiver they lost to, right?
I think.
he left at the beginning of the season. He went to Arizona. He's at Arizona now. I can't remember his name, but he was
got
also
cut or he
Rodney
got
Anderson or
asked to
something like that?
leave. They ended
They
up,
lost Mayfield too.
Robbie Anderson, right? Wasn't that who it was?
yeah, I think so.
8-8 or something like that.
They had a great turnaround for having like patching together something.
Yeah, Sam Darnold's I think the guy in Carolina too.
I don't think so. I think they take.
He's better than
Everybody-
Baker.
He is. Yeah, I've seen a lot of like mock draft stuff. Been watching like ESPN and stuff like that, and it's looking like a lot of people thinking Anthony Richardson's going to Carolina in the first round.
Yeah, that would be
Interesting.
if he goes over Hendon Hooker, that is ridiculous. If Hendon Hooker is
because he can't really throw the ball accurately at all.
he got a howitzer though. I mean,
And he got a cannon and he got some wheels.
he's a big boy. He's a big
That's
boy.
Yeah, but does Carolina want Cam Newton 2.0?
Josh Allen has skewed the view of NFL GMs, though.
Yeah.
Like, if you think about it, Josh Allen is like a 1 in a million who got paired with maybe the greatest quarterback coach of all time.
Yeah.
Like, and then he became what he is. And NFL GMs look at the potential and they're like, oh my God, I got to have this guy. Dennis, real quick, though, because I did want to talk about this before we get too far off on the quarterback thing. Defensive rookie of the year was Sauce Gardner.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about that? You guys had a sneaky, dark horse candidate for most of the season, and a lot of people would argue had an equal or if not better season than Sauce Gardner. I don't agree. Yeah, Tariq Woolen.
I think they're very like comparable in their like resumes, right? Mm-hmm. They're both big, like tall corners, long corners. Tariq, he went on what, like a 7-game stretch of interceptions.
Yeah,
something crazy like that. He broke the record for rookie interceptions, I'm pretty sure. Like, I don't know. I think Sauce Gardner probably is. I mean, he's like a top 5 corner right now in the league.
Yeah,
easily. But also, like, you can make an argument that Woolen's also a top 5 corner right now.
Yeah,
coming out of the
draft, honestly, like even Stingley got it.
The last 2 or 3 years,
J.C. Horn was unreal when he's on the field.
J.C. Horn, and you've got Patrick Surtain too, coming out of that same class as J.C. Horn.
The top 5 corners are either rookie or sophomores.
Yeah,
for this past year, in my opinion.
Ridiculous.
Jalen Ramsey is not even in my top 8 anymore. I think he's just getting old. Corners light shelf life, unless you're Darryl Green.
I was about to say unless you're Darryl Green,
but
talking Eric Dickerson at like 85 years old.
But I think Sauce is the truth. I think Tariq is right there with him though, and I think Stingley's gonna be good. But dude, you're right. PS2, J.C. Horn. I think me and Dennis, we talked about this last year, obviously before we ever had the podcast. But we said J.C. Horn was going to be one of the top corners in the league. I think he's going to be the best corner in the league in the next 2 years.
J.C. Horn,
Sauce Gardner is going to be fighting for the one spot.
Before he got injured his rookie year, J.C. Horn,
mm-hmm.
he had like the best rating or allowed the lowest QBR
rating,
when targeted, like by a country mile. I mean, like it was not close between him and second place before he went down with injury last year.
Yeah. So, dude, I mean, I don't know. I think Sauce and J.C. Horn, I'm saying it right now, this is my pick for the top 2 corners over the next 5 years is going to be a battle between J.C. Horn and Sauce Gardner. And Tariq's going to be 3, fighting with PS2 at 3 and 4.
You've got Kobe Bryant from Seattle too.
Yeah. So
he's more of a slot guy, like still an amazing rookie. Like,
yeah. What do you got? What do you 2 think about it, Joe? Chewy, you guys got any opinions on the corners coming up, the young corners?
Not really. I mean, I think Surtain's going to definitely be up there. I know he held that lowest QBR his final year at Bama. So I think he's definitely going to be pretty promising. I didn't catch a whole lot of the Jets or anything like that, or the Seattle games.
Yeah. Well, when Sauce was on the field, he shut down his whole side of the field.
Yeah.
Veteran quarterbacks would not throw his way.
And Tariq does the same thing.
Yeah. So, but we talked about the corners enough. So I kind of want to pose this question to you guys because this is a big thing going on right now, and then we'll move off the NFL for the night. But Jalen Hurts is going into contract talks with the Eagles right now, and I don't know what all you guys think is going to happen, but I will say I don't think Jalen Hurts takes one of those max Dak Prescott contracts. I think Jalen Hurts is way better of a guy who wants to win, who values winning more than he does his money. And to me, I think he wants to win Super Bowls. He does not care how much money he makes because, I mean, obviously get his bag. Like, I'm not saying like take an $18 million a year contract. I'm not saying that, Jalen. But I think like from everything I'm hearing him saying, he's probably going to take like a Patrick Mahomes type deal where it's so backloaded and all the money's spread out. So they're able to work with him on the cap to get and keep those pieces around him. So I think Jalen Hurts, he takes a smaller contract. The Eagles are here to stay for a long time. Is how I feel this is going to go down. What do you think,
so,
Dennis? Joe? Go ahead, Joe.
So, I mean, I think Jalen Hurts has to do that. Like, I don't think it's really an option at this point. He can't be looking at the same kind of contract Lamar Jackson, Deshaun Watson, Dak Prescott. He's going to have to look at something like you said, Patrick Mahomes, where you have a big signing bonus spread out over your contract years. You know, you can change that up however you want, but it frees up all that cap space because they got to do a lot of everyone kind of forgets they got a little bit of rebuilding to do. I mean, they lose both coordinators. You're going to have to figure out what's going on with your offensive line again. Using some key players on defense. Like, you're going to have to really kind of dive in and keep, be smart with your next moves here because they have a chance to make it back to the Super Bowl in the coming years, but they have to be smart in the offseason and be smart managing their cap space, and they'll be just fine.
Yeah. In that division, they have a big chance too. Dennis, what are you thinking?
Oh, yeah.
I think he's going to take like a $10 million deal, or a 10-year deal, right? With all that money backloaded. And I think very similar situation because Joe Burrow is going to get a contract this offseason. I think they're both the kind of guys that are team first guys. And I'm not saying they're not going to want money, but they're not going to take those Russell Wilson deals that screw over the team for the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
Because both of those, and I think the organizations understand, it's like Joe Burrow said, hey, what's your window for the Super Bowl? He said, as long as I'm putting on a helmet, right? That's the window. The window is as long as I'm in the league. And those teams are both so talented, the rosters, especially on offense for the Bengals. Other guys are going to need to get paid, right?
Yeah.
You can't take $45 million against the cap every year and that doesn't enable the team to succeed.
Right. Chewy, what do you think?
I think it could go one of two ways. I think it could go the way that y'all are saying, and I think that he's going to be in constant talks with Jason Kelsey and Lane who's there? Yeah, Lane Johnson. Be in constant talks with those guys, see what they're going to do, see if you can take a smaller contract that is backloaded, off the bat, and possibly bring those guys back for another season or two or three and get them the contracts that they're looking for. If they don't decide to come back, then he may up the ante a little bit. He could take the 10-year, look for the long deal, but instead of 17, 18 million a year, he could be looking 24, 25 because he knows they have the money with those guys leaving. And then I'm pretty sure Fletcher Cox, his contract's up, and I'm pretty sure Brandon Graham's is up too.
Staples on that.
Yeah, but it's
I think the Jalen Hurts situation might be a little different too, because you got to remember he's a second-round pick, right? He didn't get that Joe Burrow money signing right out of the draft.
Yeah.
So he could be looking for a little more money. And then also, you got to remember, I'm not saying that this is true, but a lot of people think that the only reason Joe Burrow is so successful is because of T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're only 1 year apart. They're both going to be looking at top 10 most expensive deals for wide receivers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Joe Burrow needs to set that precedent now. Hey, we're keeping the band together and I'm taking less money for this.
Yeah.
So we can keep the band together. You guys got to follow suit. That's the only way this works.
Yeah. An interesting stat to think about, and we'll move on. I think of every quarterback that's won a Super Bowl, only one has ever taken up more than 8% of the cap hit, and that one quarterback is Patrick Mahomes.
And he's still changing up his deal all the time. So
yeah. They're going to be restricted. He'll be paid through 2070 at this point.
Yeah. Same thing with Travis Kelce on that team too. The way he restructured his contract to make it more cap friendly.
And it works. I mean, if you want to win Super Bowls, you have to have the ability to sign talent outside of the quarterback.
And you have to have depth.
Look at Aaron Rodgers. I mean, the Aaron Rodgers quarterback is the prime example of why paying these guys all this money does not guarantee you a Super Bowl. They lost Tay, and Aaron Rodgers has not won a playoff game or won a meaningful playoff game
Meaningful. There's the one.
since that Super Bowl run. I wouldn't say he's won a meaningful playoff game since that Super Bowl run.
I'll buy that.
Yeah, because honestly, the only like games that matter are the conference championships and the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
He's only been to one Super Bowl. And I don't want to get on an Aaron Rodgers tear because we all know how I feel about Aaron Rodgers.
We could do a whole podcast.
We could do an extended special.
And we probably will.
There will be a day, especially when he gets back from his darkness retreat. I feel like we're going to hear some things. So
A little next week action.
Yeah. But moving on, NFL for the rest of this podcast, real quick. Joe, why don't you and Chewy kind of clue us in? Or Dennis, I guess you watched today too, didn't you? So clue us in on kind of what went down today.
The Genesis Invitational out at Riviera. Pretty good event. I got to tell you, some of these groupings got me going. I'll tell you what. I know Dennis and I were both keeping our eyes peeled on those. Now, we can get into Max Homa tied for the lead at 7 under with Keith Mitchell, John Rahm right on their tail.
He went 5
Kuchar,
under on the last 5 holes.
Hold on now. Kuchar right there too at 5 under. Morikawa right there at 5
Ashton
under. But,
Kutcher's playing golf?
that guy. No. Oh, no, not him. JT, he's up in contention at 3 under. I want to talk about old man Eldrick, right? He was 1 over through 15. Finished the day 2 under.
And birdied the last 3.
That's what I'm saying.
Birdied the last 3.
That's how you get to that. That's how you get to that score.
Don't be a smart ass.
So I think he's going to make the cut. I think I can predict that now. I think he might have found something. It seems like a lot of people were kind of finishing up on a hot note today. But also Jordan Spieth finished 3 over. So, and I know Dennis watched a little bit more than I did today. I was a little busy today. So I'm going to let Dennis kind of break down what he saw today.
Yeah, I was watching the best grouping that I've ever seen in a freaking tournament. I was watching the feature group for my boy Tiger, the GOAT, Rory, and JT. And
the second best group was right behind him. So,
and the second best group was a whole
Is Tiger playing this tournament?
Yep.
Oh, I thought it was okay. Cool. Oh, cool.
He'll get there eventually.
Through 1, Tiger was 1 under, and I was like, okay, Tiger, I see you coming out with the bang. Tees up on 2. It's a pretty good shot, middle of the fairway, like 340-ish, I think. And then puts it on the green. Has out of that group, had the best look at birdie, and he missed it by like 3 inches on like a 41-foot putt. And I was like, it's all right, we'll get him back. You're still 1 under. Like he made the par putt. And then on 3, he had another great look and went back to even because he pooched the putt.
That was on 4.
Yeah, it was
on 4. Yeah,
he was still under on 3.
He missed the putt, and I was like, man, you're kidding me. And I had to stop watching. I had a lot of work to do. But
wasn't that when he was wide right off the tee and then had a long putt to sit? Yeah.
And maybe I might have watched 5 too, because there was one, his tee shot was like out of bounds on the side of a hill. And you see him chunk it. And I was like,
yeah, it was 5.
I was like, throw the club, Tiger.
Chewy, did you watch it all today?
Yeah, I watched a little bit of it. I caught Tiger kind of middle round late, late on the first 9. Caught him on about hole 8. From what I could kind of see, I was pretty happy. We got Tiger back. Finished
well, he'd be
under.
leading if we got him back. But.
Well, yeah. Hey, he finished 18 and actually didn't look fatigued by hole 18. The other promising thing for me and why I think he's going to make the cut, he outdrove Rory on the back 9 every hole they pulled the big stick.
Rory's been struggling off the tee a little bit.
But hey, I'm still going to take it. When Tiger's out driving Rory by 12 yards, I'm going to take it.
Old Man Woods, I think it was on hole 2, outdrove JT and Rory by like 20 yards.
Yeah,
country mile
off the tee.
And I was like, This man's 85 years old. He just came out of the AARP freaking convention, and he's out here hitting nukes in the middle
Honestly.
of the fairway. That's fairway and regulation, baby.
And I want to talk. I mean, we can talk about Tiger all day long, and we probably will, maybe next podcast or following. But Max Homa, you guys been following him at all?
I watched the highlights from freaking. They came on during that feature group. I swear, he was 5 under through the last 7 holes.
He was tearing it up. He was 7 under by the time he was at 14. He bogeyed and birdied 2 of the last.
He bogeyed the last
5
or
holes.
birdie. Yeah, he birdied the last 3. I thought.
No,
yeah, he birdied the last 3.
Yeah.
Who, Homa?
Yeah, birdied. So he played the back 9, or he played the front 9 as his back 9.
Yeah.
He
I'm talking about just
he
like on
birdies
18 and
1,
everything.
birdies 2, par, birdie.
Yeah, dude was a dog.
Yeah, no, dude.
I mean, he's just a character too. He was mic'd up in I don't remember what tournament it was, but he was mic'd up. It was great. He's a character. I think you're going to see his name a lot more going forward.
Man, 3 birdies to finish it off. I mean, that's just kind of like typical Saturday, after 36.
Remember,
so.
you told me crying the one time you've ever got a true birdie.
Hey, now I get a birdie every time I go golfing.
With how many bogeys?
Yeah.
A lot of bogeys.
17.
The bogey man.
the bogey man. But all right, that's all we got for y'all tonight. Thank you guys for stopping by with us. Make sure you stop by with us next time. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, click that notification bell, and tell us what you guys want to see next. Peace.